Hello and welcome back to another episode of Into the 99, where we've got 99 cards, because Commander's number one. I am one of your hosts. I've got Sherman and Slothy with me. Sherman, how you doing?
Good, been a long week, and I am really happy that we're in Calgary, so you know, our water main broke like a month ago.
Yeah, it's been actually a pretty big problem that we're just kind of all ignoring on the down low.
I'm looking forward to to it being over because like everyone's like cut back on water usage and everything, but like I have laundry backed up so much.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been way too much. I just got a text from my wife. She's like, "You're being so loud." Too funny. No, the water main being down has been a problem because no one can like do lawns. Like you can't. For me, there's no like car wash open, right? And,
Yeah,
and when you work like driving, things get dirty. It is affecting. I would hate to be like a car wash that's been closed down by the city.
yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely not as wonderful as it could be with that kind of stuff. So it is kind of nice. It should be good for Stampede. We're coming up to Stampede, which is busy for everyone. Do an episode at Stampede on the rides. Mira the
oh
Magnificent episode.
Oh,
nope,
no, not going
no,
there.
Huh?
no.
Not going to Stampede.
You're not going to Stampede this year?
Never.
Oh, well, how come? And also, how are you, Slothy?
Uh, I'm pretty good, thanks. And way too many people.
That's fair. Stampede is busy.
Way too many people. Way too many drunk people.
Yeah. Way too many very expensive Midway foods that I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part.
At $20 for a corn dog. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, it's been pretty bad. I haven't gone to Stampede in the last few years, but that's because I just work all the time.
Yeah.
Well, Stampede's still fun though. Maybe,
It's
maybe,
still fun.
maybe I'll go this year. I haven't like I said, I haven't gone in too long. And yeah, no, other than that, the week's been really good. They've been bombarding against spoilers. We're for some reason getting Duskmorn spoilers because why not? Like you said, it was we're in Assassin's Creed spoilers, and they're like, here's some more Bloomborough spoilers at the Amsterdam MagicCon, and then they're like, here's some Duskmorn. Like we're just pick a set. Let's even just pick one set. If we're not gonna ever stop spoilers, at least just let's maybe stay spoiling one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous getting spoiled 3 sets right now.
Well, yeah, and that's what I mean. Like I'm not an Assassin's Creed fan really, right? So I'm looking at the cards and there's some really cool cards there. I know that you're more excited than I am, right? So,
Mhm.
but like I found some and everything. I'm all excited about this one, and this card's now it's a set that's not even out, and the card's old news now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're on to 2 sets deep of new legendary creatures, and for
Yeah. I
some reason, spider dolls.
last night I started building some of the Duskmorn commanders.
You see
Of
what I'm
course.
saying, right? It's
Yeah.
it has been a lot. This one, as everyone who knows me, I like to group hug mostly, kind of a little bit of A, a little bit of B. Yeah, group hug in finger quotes. Sometimes it's group hug, sometimes it's not. But Socrates, the Athenian teacher, that card really struck me as like it just struck me as something that I could kind of group hugs, kind of politics, right? And Socrates is like an actual person from history. It's like a philosopher, so like a lot of thinking things. So I made my deck called Think Twice Before Attacking, and it you would think it's not that, but it's not. It's not a pillow fort deck. I want people to attack in this, and I want to make deals so that people attack, and I want to be obnoxious with it. So what Socrates does is it's a 0/4 defender for 1 white and 1 blue. Let's get that up on the screen there. Human Advisor. It has hexproof as long as it's untapped. That's so annoying. That's built into a commander at 3 mana is very obnoxious. And then it has a great tap ability, which is our Socratic dialogue. It has tap until end of turn. Target creature gains. If this creature would deal combat damage to a player, prevent that damage. This creature's controller and that player each draw half that many cards rounded down. I really like this ability.
Mhm.
It seems so silly, but like the fact that you can like make people draw like 10 cards.
Well, so it is kind of fun. You can politics around. You don't want to be a Voltron player at this table. First off, like
Yeah.
that one's gonna hurt. But the fact that the commander is extremely difficult to remove already before you tap it, so you can't really respond to the ability or kill it before you go to combat and get through it. You have to bait me into attacking to try and get it right. I
Yeah,
also
true.
I also just love that I can make deals with people. Hey, attack me. We'll both draw cards because I think a lot of people are going to take that deal, right?
Yeah.
Especially early game until you see what you want to do. But the point of this deck I want to do is I want to force people to draw. That's the route I went down. Is I want to force people to draw. I want to be silly with my commander, which is why it's the think twice before you act. So let's jump into our artifacts.
All right. Sloth, you want to take it?
Sure. First artifact we've got here is Bloodthirsty Blade, 2 mana. It's an equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and is goaded. You can pay 1 to attach Bloodthirsty Blade to target creature an opponent controls and activate only as a sorcery.
Goat is so annoying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
The nice thing is at the end, Goad still has to attack even if it's only down to a 1-on-1.
yeah.
I like it, and
Yeah.
yes, Goad is very annoying. It's not fun to get goaded at all.
The next one we have is Coveted Jewel for 6 mana. When a jewel enters the battlefield, you draw 3 cards. You can tap it to add 3 mana of any one color. Whenever one or more creatures an opponent controls attacks you and aren't blocked, that player draws 3 cards and gains the jewel. Untap it.
I
This is a fun card.
I like specifically that it's not damage because we're preventing damage, right? Like last week, Slothy is all about actually hitting people. We don't actually want to hit. We just want people to potentially be hit. We want to fake out. This deck is a trust fall.
Trust fall. Fall backwards. Come on.
A trust fall in group hugging.
Yeah.
So like I said, we want to, again, a really, really easy way. Sherman, attack me with your 2/2. I'll prevent the damage. You can have the jewel. You're going to get ramp. You're going to get draw. And preventing the damage, you're going to get an extra draw, right? Why wouldn't you attack me and draw 4? Right?
Exactly.
I do think that this deck will help games like people play their decks out. I like silly group hug things. And it'll at least get you talking to the table. This is our next one is a Folio of Fancies. It's 1 to blue. Players have no max hand size. Great. We want everyone to draw cards. You can pay double X. Tap. Each player draws X cards. Again, phenomenal ability. Or 2 in a blue. Tap it. Each opponent puts a number of cards equal to the number of cards in their hand from the top of their library into their graveyard. I don't often use that second ability because it's kind of mean. I don't really like to mill people out that way. I like to mostly just dump like 4 mana at the end.
There.
Yeah, fair. Next one we've got is Girapur Orrery, 4 mana. Each player may play an additional land on his or her turn. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, that player draws 3 cards.
Great card. Fun group huggish card.
We're mostly group hugging still, like I said.
We have
Mostly.
Halo Fountain for 2 in white. Artifact. Because we're in the artifacts. For a white mana and you tap it. Untap a tapped creature you control. Create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. For 2 white mana, you can tap it. Untap 2 tapped creatures you control. You draw a card. And then for 5 white mana, you can tap it to untap 15 tapped creatures you control. You win the game.
The fact that again we're hexproof as long as we're untapped. This is creature generating. This is getting a second because I want to make it very clear right now. There is absolutely nothing stopping you from stacking that Socrates ability 100
Yeah.
times. As many times as you can put it on a creature, that creature will have it. So
Yeah.
if you goad something big, like you can make people like goad a big trampler, you can make people draw like 15, 16 cards a turn if you have good untapped mechanics.
Because it doesn't say take it out of combat. It just says it stops combat damage. That's it.
Just prevents the damage. Yep.
Yeah.
That damage can,
It's not like Maze of Ith.
yeah, right. Maze of Ith would be so mean. We have a Horn of Greed carrying on with our making everyone draw. It is a 3 mana artifact. Whenever a player plays a land, they draw a card. I love yelling Pot of Greed when this card's out. I can't stop myself.
I play Pot of Greed.
Yeah, I'm a simple man.
Then we've got Howling Mine, 2 mana. At the beginning of each player's draw step, if Howling Mine's untapped, that player draws an additional card.
What can I say?
Yeah.
What can I say? It's got to go in decks, right?
Yeah, especially
course.
decks like this.
Ooh, here's a fun one. Illusionist Bracers for 2 mana. It's an equipment. Whenever an ability of equipped creature is activated, if it isn't a mana ability, copy that ability. You may choose new targets for a copy. It has equip cost of 3. So you're going to stack these like crazy for sure with this.
Or, well, the other thing too is that turns every tap into prevent damage from 2 creatures, right? So if people are trying to go silly, we don't have to just stack it on one. I can say I'm
That's
gonna
true.
yeah, I'm gonna do it on the 3 you're attacking me, right? So the
Yeah.
bracers is gonna help us a lot. We've got a lot of activated abilities in the deck, so I like it. Especially like I said, if we get this on the commander and we even have like our Halo Fountain that we just talked about, right? Then we're preventing damage on 4 creatures or stacking it 4 high. I like it.
Yeah.
We have Laser Screwdriver. I'm really, really liking these Screwdriver cards. They bring a lot of utility there. I like a good 3 mana rock. I've been kind of powering the decks down a little bit more to that 3 mana rock level, and I like it a lot. But the Laser Screwdriver, all of these Screwdrivers are just so stuffed with utilities. They were great cards. It's 3 mana. You tap to add 1 mana of any color. Awesome. Pay 1, tap target artifact. We could tap our Howling Mine. We're not going to. Pay 2 and a tap, Surveil 1. Not what we're really looking for. What we're looking for is the 3 and a tap, goad target creature. Finding goad in Azorius goad isn't really the mechanic.
Next up, we've got Mage Rate Stone. 2 mana. Pay 1 and tap it to untap target creature that has an activated ability with tap in its cost.
That's an interesting card. I've never seen it before.
I like it.
Huh.
I like this one, yeah.
Yeah.
Next one is a fun one, always, and it's really annoying. It's Mirage Mirror for 3 mana. So you can tap 2 mana, and Mirage Mirror becomes a copy of target artifact, creature, enchantment, or land until end of turn. Such a good card, such an annoying card. I'm so glad they reprinted this like crazy.
I really like this card. It's so nice to be able to just hit someone's like Seedborn with it, and we all get an untap or just another great enchantment kind of thing. Like I really like the utility it gets for 2 mana.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to sink that mana all the time.
Yeah.
We have a Patriarch's Seal, 3 mana for another triple mana rock. You tap to add 1 mana of any color. Awesome. Pay 1. You tap, untap target legendary creature you control.
Great card.
Yep.
Yeah. Then we've got Soul Ring. Mana, tap for 2.
Now we have the other screwdriver, the Sonic Screwdriver for 3 mana. Tap to add 1 mana of any color. You can tap 1 to tap it, untap another target artifact, tap 2 to tap it, scry 1, and you have tap 3 to tap it to target creature. Can't be blocked this turn.
I like a lot of these. The making things unblockable, if people don't want to deal with our politics, then we need a little bit of putting them in. As well, this can untap things like the other Screwdriver for more gold, like the Halo Fountain for more untaps.
So when negotiations break down, we must go to violence.
Yes, exactly. We must pull out the Screwdriver. Yeah.
That sounds so bad right now. Like
we have ways of making them participate.
oh boy.
We have the Thought Vessel, another great little rock. You have no max hand size at 2 mana, and you tap for colorless.
Then we've got the 1,000-Year Elixir. 3 mana. You may activate abilities of creatures you control as though those creatures had haste. And you can pay 1 and tap to untap target creature.
Why the heck is this card so expensive? I never knew it was this much.
It needs a reprint pretty badly.
Holy smokes. $15? Good golly. Like, it's a good card, but still.
It hasn't been reprinted since Commander 2021 in the Osgear deck.
And that was, yeah,
That's
just in the
insane.
deck print.
Man. Yeah, they definitely need to reprint that. Like, it's a great card, but like, holy smokes, $15. Oh, all right. Anyways, our last artifact here is Unbendertine. Did I say that right? Yeah,
Yep.
I said that right. All right. 2 and a white and a blue. So you can tap it to untap target. Oh, sorry. Untap another target permanent.
Yeah.
Cool.
Generally speaking, when you play Commander, you want the Commander's ability, right? And
Yeah.
generally speaking, if you want to double up on it, you have to go more of a traditional route of like, I want a Sakashima, I want a Spark double kind of thing, right? To get it. But our Commander's ability, we don't care about the actual card. We just want to untap that card. So we've got
Yeah.
a lot of, as I'm sure you could see already, untap shenanigans. But a lot of these cards do untap permanents or target creatures, right? Nothing stops us from helping other people out and saying like, hey, you need a little bit of mana, like let me untap your land for you with this card. But then you have to attack me, right? Like we have a lot of political options in this deck.
Yeah.
Again, you can really ramp someone out hard if they've got a Soul Ring and you just untap their Soul Ring for them and just say, hey, I'll give you 2 extra mana, but help me out. You owe me a favor. Right? Like like I said, I like my little artifact section. This one is not as cheap as a lot of the decks I have been building. I will say it's $317. So it's a little more of a higher budget deck, but it's just because some of the cards are pretty difficult to find and like still up there, sadly.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah, let's hit down to enchantments. We'll end off on creatures here. I'll take our first one here. We have Force Fruition because I want everyone to draw cards. It's 4 double blue, an enchantment. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, they draw 7 cards.
That's such a deadly card.
This is Group Hug, guys.
This is Group Hug. I want everyone. I want everyone to play their deck. I want options at the table. This is, by the way, my number 1 target for Mirage Mirror. If it's out, I'm getting a second Force Fruition. Enjoy your 14 cards of spell. Remove my commander.
Oof.
Please.
Then we've got the Induced Amnesia. 2 and a blue. When it enters the battlefield, target player exiles all cards from his or her hand face down, then draws that many cards. When Induced Amnesia is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return the exiled cards to their owner's hand.
This is such a silly card. It's so fun when you can blink it.
Yeah. Again, hear me out. I want people to draw cards.
Oh, man.
Getting hit with the Induced Amnesia when you've got 14 cards in hand, that's rough.
The next one we have is Martial Impetus. For 2 and white, it's an aura. So we enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets a +1/+1 and is goaded. Whenever the enchanted creature attacks, each other creature that's attacking one of your opponents gets a +1/+1 until end of turn. Fair, nice. It has goad.
Yeah, at a certain point, people are going to stop listening to us. That is, they're going to stop wanting our deals, and that's how I like to make a Group Hug deck in general. But they are going to stop after they get hit with a 5 untap, draw 15 cards. They might not want to negotiate anymore.
Yeah.
Some of our shady deals. We have a Noble Heritage. It is 1 and a white, and I love these backgrounds. Commander creatures you own have, when this enters and at the beginning of your upkeep, each player may put 2/1/1 counters on a creature they control. We could put it on our commander too, which is great. Make our commander a huge blocker. So they can put 2/1/1 counters on each creature they control. For each opponent who does, you gain protection from them until next turn. And it is really easy to get people to take that deal. And protection for a whole turn is quite the hoop to jump through if you want to get revenge on me.
Yeah.
Then we've got the Psychic Impetus. 2 and a blue. It's an aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and is goaded. And whenever enchanted creature attacks, you scry 2.
eh. Oh, so many. Like goat. Don't get me wrong. I like goat. It's annoying, but like, oh, so yeah. Anyways, the next card we have is Redemption Arc for 2 and a white. It's an inner aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature has indestructible and is goaded. And for 1 and a white, you can exile enchanted creature. This is such a fun card. Holy smokes.
This card does a lot.
Yeah. Like it's fun. Like I find it hilarious when you put it on someone that has like death touch or something that's beefy and they can't attack you. It's just like, yeah, okay, and then just swing in because it has indestructible. It makes no difference.
Well, and yeah, and the ability to as well exile it if it becomes too problematic for you. I like that.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
The built-in dead man switch on it. We have Standstill, a really fun enchantment to play in Commander. It's 1 and a blue. Whenever a player plays a spell, sack it. If you do, each of that player's opponents draws 3 cards.
That's such a oh my goodness, it's such a stupid card.
In games where people are like, my favorite part about Group Hug is we've all been a part of a game where we don't get the land we need, we don't get the cards we need, right? We kept a greedy hand because it has that new fancy card, and I did it. I played Magic on Thursday night. I did it with the Ocelot Pride. I kept a horrible hand in one of our games and couldn't do a thing because of the Ocelot Pride. So
Yeah.
I'm well aware of a greedy hand when I see it. I had 1 land, I had an Ocelot Pride, and I'm a simple man. That land was a swamp. It wasn't working. But yeah, it wasn't great. So I like when you play things that make everyone draw, like your Howling Mine, like your Rites of Flourishing, my normal Group Hug package. It makes people draw and possibly play their games, though, right? It gets to fun games. So I like this, especially like as a turn 2 play. Whenever a player plays a spell, sack it. Each opponent draws 3 cards. That's really big early game.
Yeah, it's true.
And late game is just funny.
The final enchantment we've got here is Struggle for Project Purity, 3 and a blue. Enters the battlefield, choose Brotherhood or Enclave. Brotherhood, at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent draws a card. You draw a card for each card drawn this way. Or Enclave, whenever a player attacks you with 1 or more creatures, that player gets twice that many rad counters.
Is this in the Mothman deck?
Yeah, it is.
I'm convinced I need to buy the Mothman deck. Every card I see from the Mothman deck looks so fun.
It's so much fun. Holy smoke. I cannot stress that enough. The Mothman is such a fun commander to play. And
It's got ETB, it's got attack triggers, it's got mill. But it's got mill in a fun way.
It's an interesting mill because people aren't really upset at the mill too much. Like sometimes they can be just because like if like a really strong card is milled, then they kind of get upset and they're like, oh, and then they try to attack you. But like Mothman gets huge, and there's so many different ways you can build it. It's just crazy. Like it is seriously a very fun build.
The rad counters, I think, are just like I think they're the best version of mill because although, like you said, it sucks to lose a good card, it does feel good to be like, okay, well, whatever, now I don't have that rad counter, right? You feel almost like you're incentivized. Well, at least the rad counter's gone. I really, really like it. But like this one as well, me being able to draw 3 on my upkeep is wicked as an extra draw. And then also, if we want people to stop attacking us, it is like a great pillow fort card to stop people swinging at you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, we're not pillow forting in this, but generally speaking, like against a token deck, I swing at you with 20 Scoot Swarms. Okay, enjoy your 40 rad counters.
Yeah.
Good luck. Yeah,
Have fun with that.
Right. Let's do our instance. There's actually a few in here this time. You guys should be proud of me.
Ooh, wow.
I'm quite proud of you.
Let's start off with a classic here. The very first one is a Disenchant. For 1 and a white, you can destroy target artifact or enchantment. I will never, ever get sick and tired of Disenchant. It's such a great card. Like one of the pretty much like OGs.
It's classic. I'm always a fan of that one. This next one, I really like this card. It's super cool. 35 cent, like common. It's Energy Arc. a white and a blue. Instant, you untap any number of target creatures. They neither deal nor receive damage in combat this turn.
That's a really nice fog.
Yeah.
Mhm.
A really cool fog, and also it really plays into our untapping, right? Because
Yeah.
I still want your creature to do damage, right? But it's nice to be able to like have all of my creatures untapped with it, or use it, like you said, as a big blanket fog.
Yeah.
And it's not one you see, right? I like seeing interesting cards, and it's cool artwork. I like it.
Actually, this
Yeah.
would be a fun politics card too, because it says untap any number of target creatures. It doesn't have to be just yours or your opponent's. It could be like if it's like down to like someone's like the problem and you need someone else's help and they have a bunch of creatures that are tapped. You can untap those just to help them out.
Yep. Well, exactly. You can ramp them if they have ramp creatures. You can save them if someone's swinging at them and they need a big block.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is a nice card. This is a great political. I need to add this.
It's a cool one, right? I'm glad.
Yeah.
Uh, Moving on here, we've got Immortal Obligation. 1 and a white. Return target creature card from an opponent's graveyard to the battlefield under their control with a duty counter on it. For as long as that creature has a duty counter on it, it is goaded, can't attack you or a permanent you control, and can't block creatures you control.
Fun times. Fun times.
I like that, to be able to
Mhm.
again, the politics of bringing someone's big creatures that have died back is great.
Yeah, I like this one.
The challenge is to convince people to let their commander go to the grave. Just leave your
Yeah.
commander in the grave, trust me. And then I just say you shouldn't have trusted me, and their commander's in the grave for the game. Ooh.
Ooh, fun times.
I don't get invited to Magic anymore.
You had too many shady deals.
True.
We're just chatting here. We're just talking. That's it.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
All right, I did it.
Unless.
We have Jawari Disruption for 1 and a white. It you can counter target spell unless its controller pays 1. And it is also a flip card. So on the other side we have Jawari's Ruins. So it'd be a land and it would enter the battlefield tapped and you can tap it to add 1 blue mana.
Yeah. Decent little extra spot. We have Oblation. 2 and a white. The owner of target non-land permanent shuffles it into their library, then draws 2.
Hurrah!
Raw. Then there's Return to Dust, 2 double white, exile target artifact or enchantment. If the spell was cast during your main phase, you may exile up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment.
I always like Return to Dust.
I like that art on it too.
Yeah, me too.
That's a nice one. Ooh. That's a fun card. We have Turnabout for 2 double blue. Choose artifact, creature, or land. Tap all untapped permanents of the chosen type target player controls. Or untap all tapped permanents of that type that player controls. That's stupid.
There's so much we could do with this card. I've goaded your creatures and you don't want me to make draws happen. You say, don't worry, I'll block. Declare attack step. You're all tapped down now. What's up? Again, we can politics to untap their lands and say, I got you, don't worry. We can untap our creature. We're going to tap our lands. We get a lot of utility with this. I love this card so much.
It seems like it would be a fun. I gotta try this one now. It seems like a fun card to play around with.
I love the flavor text too. The best cure for a big ego is a little failure.
Yeah, that's so true.
I like it. We have you come to a river. 1 and a blue. You choose one. You fight the current, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, which is lovely. Or we find a crossing. Target creature gets 1/0 until end of turn and can't be blocked. Great
That's a nice-
utility for what we're doing.
Yeah. So yeah, because you can get rid of something that's a problem, or you can make something that's unblockable, so you can get through and finish someone off. It's a good card.
Our final instant here is your temple is under attack. 2 and a white, you can choose one. Pray for protection. Creatures you control gain indestructible till end of turn. Or strike a deal, you and target opponent each draw 2 cards.
That's a good
I
card.
love these cards so much with the like the what do you do choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Choose your own adventure cards.
Yeah.
I love those books. Do they still make those books? I used to read them like
Not
crazy when I was a kid.
I
not
love it,
as
dude.
frequently now, but the Goosebumps ones were big when I was a kid.
Oh, I loved all those horror choose your own adventures. I died a
Mhm.
lot. I wouldn't have been great in the horror settings. We have a few lands that do matter in the deck. Number one is Arcane Lighthouse. It's going to be an MVP for us. It is mildly expensive at the moment at 649, but it's tapped out of colorless, or you pay one until end of turn. Creatures your opponents lose Hexproof and Shroud and can't have Hexproof and Shroud. That's going to get around the boots. A lot of people protect their commander and stuff, and we're not trying to destroy it. We're trying to let you be nice, but if you want to stop me from making it so I can't use my commander, Arcane Lighthouse right in your face.
Mhm.
We also have just a bunch of just kind of tap lands, check lands. A big part of the budget of this deck is this Dol Amroth, the Minimos School of Water's Edge. Just simply
Yeah.
skip that if you don't want to have the deck. Like you drop that down to like 250 that way. It just taps for a blue, or you pay a blue untapped target legendary permanent. It's just more of us doing what we want to do.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then, like I said, we've obviously got a Rogue's Passage because we want things to be unblockable. Nothing too crazy in that section. Let's hit our Planeswalkers here.
All right.
Who's up first?
It's me. It's me.
Take it
So
away.
first one we have is Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, for a 1 and a triple blue. So it comes in with a 4 loyalty. If you would draw a card and while your library has no cards in it, you win the game. The +1 is target player puts the top 2 cards of their library into their graveyard. Draw a card. And you have a -8 where you draw 7 cards. Then if your library has no cards in it, you win the game.
Okay. All right.
Jace is
Yeah.
a lab man.
Yep, I like it. Labman Jace is what we all call it.
Yeah.
Batman Jace, yeah.
You on this next one, Slothy, or me?
That is you.
All right, let me take Teferi, who slows the sunset. This card's obnoxious. Every time I've ever seen it played, it's obnoxious, but it's really fun to play. I don't have very many copies of it. I think I only have like 3 or 4, and I love it in every one. So I just picked another one up to make this deck. It's 2 1 white 1 blue for a 4 loyalty legendary planeswalker Teferi, +1. You choose up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, and up to 1 target land. Untap the chosen ones you control, tap the chosen ones you don't control, you gain 2 life. That's quite the +1.
Mhm.
Right? Like we're able to hit rock, creature, land. That's big untaps. Untap shenanigans go silly. The
Yeah.
-2, which you're pretty much never going to use, is look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 into your hand and the rest in the bottom. Never. We don't want that. What we do want is this -7. You get an emblem with untap all permanents you control during each opponent's untap step, and you draw a card during each opponent's draw step. We really like to draw in this deck a whole bunch.
Wait, really?
Yeah, we've mentioned it, maybe a time or two.
I quite like that's Teferi in here. That ultimate's awesome.
Yeah, it's quite the emblem. They really do need to do something to interact with emblems. Now that like the planeswalkers have all been like pseudo desparked and people, get rid of some of the emblems. Come on.
The best way to get rid of the emblem is to take out the player.
That is true.
Exactly.
They may have an emblem, but they no longer have life in their body.
Yeah. There you go. But like I do agree, like they should find a way to get rid of emblems though. That would be interesting.
Yeah, some pretty annoying ones. Like I said, this one, an untap all permanents you control, and I draw every it's a lot. That's not
Yeah.
a fun thing to get around.
Then we have our last planeswalker, which is Teo, Geometric Tactician, for 2 and a white. It comes in with 3 loyalty. When the Tactician enters the battlefield, create a 0/4 white wall creature token with Defender and Flying, which is really annoying. That Flying, oh my goodness. The +1 is you and target opponent each draw a card. The -2 is choose left or right. Until your next turn, each player may attack only the nearest opponent in the last chosen direction and plays Planewalker controlled by that opponent.
Really
So annoying.
really fun mechanic. Goad
Mhm.
forces an attack, and they have to attack someone else if able. But if they're
Yeah.
not able, they do have to attack you. They don't get a choice to attack me. So we can force people to goad into us if they don't want to do it early and stuff. If the table's not cooperating with our shenanigans, we can use this Teo ability to, all right, your creature's goated, attack me. I'll block. Wink, wink.
That's you have the same ability with an enchantment for white. What was it? Something maze?
I know what one you're talking about. It's the art is a guy kneeling.
Yeah, let me look it up real fast if I can
The
find it.
Pramicon enchantment.
It's like something maze, I think, or haze. One of the two. Let me see. I can't find it here. Player, blah, 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 blah. You know what? I can't find it. We'll keep going for now.
Yeah, we're out of there here, Slothy. Oh, wait. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll Google it, but I can't. Slothy, you take us away with our sorceries here.
Sure. Our first sorcery here, we got Minds Aglow, single blue. You can join forces, starting with you. Each player may pay any amount of mana. Each player draws X card, where X is the total amount of mana paid this way.
Yeah, I like it.
Ooh.
Again, people sometimes got to draw. We do have we have one way to go infinite in this deck, so it is nice to Minds Aglow and to Prosperity draw the game out if we need to. Literally draw it out. Am I right?
Good golly.
The next one in the list is Prosperity. It's X and a blue. Each player draws X cards.
And I'm going to finish off the last sorcery here. I did find that card. I will say that in 1 second here. So, but last card we have here is Seagate Restoration for 4 triple blue. Draw cards equal to the number of cards in your hand plus 1. You have no max hand size for the rest of the game. It does have a flip, which is another land, and that is Seagate Reborn. I'm sorry. As Seagate Reborn enters the battlefield, you may pay 3 life. If you don't, it enters the battlefield tapped, and you can tap it to add a blue. So, I found that card where I was thinking about. I was totally wrong. It wasn't Maze something or something Maze. It's Mystic Barrier
Mystic
for
Barrier,
4 and a
yes, there you
white.
go.
Yeah, and it's in so Mystic Barrier 4 and a white. It is an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, or at the beginning of your upkeep, you choose left or right. So you can keep on swapping back and forth. And each player must attack the opponent seat nearest to them, depending on whichever you chose. So yeah, that would totally work for this too.
There we go. I got Mystic Barrier popped up now. Yeah. I thought it was a different artwork than it was. I thought it was a guy kneeling, but I was wrong.
There's 24,000 cards. Come on.
I must remember all of them.
Every single one must be remembered.
Yes. Okay, let's crack up into these creatures here because we got a few I like. Slothy, you take us away with our first one. Let's start us off here.
The first one we've got here is a Pheto Alchemist, 1 and a blue for a 1/2 wizard. You can tap it to untap target artifact or creature and morph it for a blue.
They need to reprint this card so much. I only have 1 copy and I want more.
They definitely
Hebrew's
do.
trouble.
This is our infinite engine because it can untap itself with the what's it called, the bracers.
Oh yeah.
So we can untap ourselves or any creature infinitely. We can infinite untap Socrates with it to double up. We can infinite untap like something that can untap a land, like any of our the Unbender Tine, for instance, that untaps a permanent. We untap the Alchemist, and so we have infinite potential with the Pheto Alchemist. It is our main infinite win con if we need it, and it just does what we want it to do. If we don't do it, if we want to be normal people at the table.
Normal.
Not animals for the people watching. You take the next one, Sherman.
One infinite, but like the chances of you getting into it because you're drawing so much is, I would say, a lot higher.
You definitely do. There's no tutors. We're not tutoring for it, but you can get there.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you want to take this, Dan, or do you want me to take it?
I'll take the next one. We have Azor's Elecutors. 3 and then hybrid azorius, 3/5 human advisor. At the beginning of your upkeep, you put a filibuster counter on Azor's Elecutors. A lot of words. I'm going to call it AZ. Then if AZ has 5 or more filibuster counters on it, you win the game. Whenever a source deals damage to you, remove a filibuster counter from it. For the whole everything we do is prevent damage. You could try.
Yeah, we can try to hit you. Okay. The next card we have here is Clever Impersonator for 2 double blue. It's a shapeshifter. You may have the impersonator enter the battlefield as a copy of any non-land permanent on the battlefield.
Force Fruition 3.
Yeah, great card. I love this card. It's so good.
It's got so much utility, right? There's never going to be a point in the game where it's not good.
Yeah.
Then we've got the Coveted Peacock, 3 double blue for a 3/4 bird with flying. Whenever Coveted Peacock attacks, you may goad target creature defending player controls.
I like it.
Yeah.
Drum Bellower. We have Seedborn Muse at home. It's 2 and a white, flying 2/1 spirit. Untap all creatures you control during each other player's untap step.
Great card. Great card.
Yeah.
Another card they need to reprint. Oh, next card we have here is Fate Stitcher for 3 and a blue. It's a zombie wizard. It's a 1/2. You can tap it and you may tap or untap another target permanent. I love how it says like you can when you tap it, you may tap or untap. It's like I'll just tap Fate Stitcher. I don't want to do anything with it. Right?
It's
It
a
also
flex.
has Unearth for a single blue. So if you tap a blue, return this card from your graveyard to play. It gains haste. Remove it from the end from the game at the end of the turn if it would leave play. Unearth only as a sorcery.
You can use this one like really, really aggressively. We can use it again to politics and say we'll help people out. But if people have been our mortal enemies for the game, let's say, we can just lock down their only green source of mana in their upkeep.
Yeah.
Right? Like we can
Annoying.
really be mean.
Get the triumph.
Oof.
Sherman.
Yeah.
The May is to deal with super highly played cards such as Asphyxiate,
Yeah.
which is destroy target untapped creature,
Yeah.
which you will run into every day.
Fair, I guess.
But it's just fun or funny, right? It's like like all of them, it's like you may do this. All of the other ones are just like tap this or untap this. I think like Fate Stitcher's the only one that has that ability that says you may tap or untap.
You'll
just
see.
like
Oh, you
if
go
you
ahead.
feel like it.
Yeah, if you feel like it.
Uh,
I can also ninjutsu things after I've dealt combat damage. Whether I do that or not is a different story.
That is fun. You can see that a lot of these, they fixed they all say another. You can't untap itself with it, which is the bummer.
Yeah.
I like to untap, but who knows? Slothy, our next one, please.
Yeah, our next one we've got is Flumph. 1 and a white for a 0/4 jellyfish with defender and flying. Whenever a Flumph is dealt damage, you and target opponent each draw a card.
Flump is a fun card.
We've got our forensic researcher, a newer one. 2 and a blue, Merfolk Detective 1/3. You tap, untap another target permanent you control, or pay 3, collect evidence 3, tap target creature you don't control. We're never going to use that ability.
No.
You hate the collect evidence mechanic.
Exile cards. I just don't like to exile my cards. I like to have them. Even if they're in the grave, I still like to have them.
Yeah, true.
I like to hoard them there.
For forensic researcher, I haven't really played around with it, so I can't really say if I like it or not. But like, yeah, it's pretty good overall considering that like you have like things like Vizier, Tumbling Sands, and whatnot, which does the same thing. It's just you have the extra like collect evidence 3 thing. So, we have next is Glasspool Mimic for 2 and a blue, shapeshifting rogue. You may have the mimic enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature you control, except it's a shapeshifter rogue in addition to its other types. And it's a flip once again. I'm getting on the flips today. It is a land for Glasspool Shore. It enters the battlefield tapped, and you tap it to add a blue.
Every time I see this, I love this artwork, but I just really, really like it. The Hedrons from Zendikar, the like big touch of color when it touches the pool. Like I love this card.
Yeah.
And it does a lot of cool things for me.
Next one we've got here is Lorith of the Healing House, or Urith. Is a 1/4 human cleric. You can tap it to untap another target permanent, or tap it to untap 2 other target legendary creatures.
I like it. Doesn't have to be ours. And again, it's
Yep.
another politicsing their lands card.
Hmm.
We've got a Kelpie guide. A lot of 2 and a blue untappers. I'm going to give you some spoilers right now if you haven't picked up on that. A lot of at 3 CMC untap for our 3 CMC commander. We really want to use that ability. I can't stress that enough. Kelpie guide is a 2/2 beast. Untap another target permanent you control, or tap target permanent. Activate only if you control 8 or more lands. So kind of another hoop to jump through to get that tap of a permanent, but
Yeah, 8 or more lands. That's easy to get to.
true.
Yeah.
We have a very, very, very fun creature here. We have Queen. Please, so what is it? Queen inherent meddler. I can't say the metaphor. Itinerant meddler. So it's a blue and wow. Something's wrong with my brain today.
It's early. I
It's
get
a
it.
white and a blue. Legendary creature, rabbit wizard, 1/3. Queen, basically, you tap it, each player may draw a card. Then each player who drew a card this way gains 1 life.
I want to just quickly point out this deck is entirely interchangeable with Queen.
Hmm.
Queen is a fun commander. Like most people that play Queen play it as a group hug.
Yeah.
So
If you want to chill this deck down a little bit and not be as obnoxious, then Queen is good because it's a May. It's still going to function the same way as our untapping and shenanigans. So a fully interchangeable commander. I like it.
Then we've got Laboratory Maniac. 2 and a blue for a shoot 2 human wizard. If you draw a card while your library has no cards in it, you win the game instead.
That one surprised no one. I'll give you. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that.
No.
I think when you start building a deck like this, it comes with the card.
Yeah, that's like the second or third card you put in after the commander.
Yeah, Commander,
Yeah.
Lab Maniac, then Soul Ring.
Yep.
We have Lauren of the Third Path. 2 and a white. It's a 2/1 Artificer with Vigilance. When it enters, you destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment. That's great. You don't have to, but it's lovely removal. And tap, you and target opponent each draw a card. I like that mechanic. I like that removal. It doesn't feel as bad. You know what? I'm gonna blow up your whatever is a problem, but I'm only gonna give you only you are gonna get the draw from it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
We have Maeve, Insidious Singer for 2 double blue. Legendary creature, Siren. It's a 3/4. For 2 and a blue, you go target creature. Whenever that creature attacks 1 or more opponents this turn, you draw a card. This is a fun card.
Yeah, it's a cool one. I'm a fan. There's not much goat in these colors is the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to rely a lot on asking people to attack. Please do it.
Please.
I want some more.
Next up, we've got Mirror Image. 2 and a blue for a 0/0 shapeshifter. You may have it enter as a copy of any creature you control.
I love the artwork on this one.
Yeah.
Also, you may have it just enter as a 0/0.
You could, yeah, nothing stops you from being rude. We have our Mocking Doppelganger. 3 and a blue. It's got flash. It's a shapeshifter. You can have it enter as a copy of a creature an opponent controls, except it has other creatures with the same name as it are goated. I like it.
Fun times. We have Nils. Wow, I really can't speak today. I don't know what's wrong with me. Niles, Discipline Enforcer for 2 and a white. Legendary creature, human cleric. It is a 2/2. At the beginning of your end step, for each player, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature that player controls. Each creature with 1 or more counters on it can't attack you or planeswalkers you control unless its controller pays X, where X is the number of counters on that creature. Fun. This is such a fun card.
Anti-Ulamog tech. Yeah, this is I put nils in everything I can.
I like the fact that it's just any counter on the creatures. It doesn't have to be a +1/+1. It can be a shield counter. It can be a vigilance counter, flying counter. You name it. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I also like that everyone always forgets that nils hits you as well. You can put on your own creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always forget it. I always put on everyone else's, but not me.
Next up, we've got Orzhov Advocist, 2 and a white for a 1/4 human advisor. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player may put 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature they control. If a player does, creatures that player controls can attack you or planeswalkers you control until your next turn.
I like it. Again, more deals people might not take. Phantasmal Image is just a fun card. You don't really see it pop up anymore because it's still kind of pricey, and it gets removed so easy. But you know,
Yeah.
Phantasmal Image is 1 in the blue. You may have it enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, except it's an illusion. In addition to its other types, and it has whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability, you sack it.
Man, I can't believe it's like $11 still. Holy smokes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's not really played, like I said. Like, you don't. It does die to anything removal. Like, not even the removal doesn't even have to resolve to kill it. But
Look
it
at
Like
it
is,
you can
wrong
just
and it dies.
yeah, exactly. But it is a nice extra additional untapper, or another, like another peacock kind of thing, right? Like the goad thing. We've got a lot of different paths to go with our little self clone things like this, the mirror image, yada yada.
yeah.
Mhm.
Also, why is this mirror image so expensive? Is it just because it's the
Oh.
Japanese art?
It might be, yeah.
Let me see what it is. It's okay. Yeah, it's 59 cents if you don't have the cool Japanese artwork. I just like that artwork because I had it in the box.
Japanese one is nice. All right.
Yeah, it's very cool.
The next one here is Puppeteer for 2 and a blue. Like you said, Daniel, you have a lot of 2 and a blue. It's a human wizard. It's a 1/2. For a blue and a tap, you may tap or untap target creature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
Ooh, I like this card. Next up, we've got Renegade Silent. 3 and a blue for a 3/3 alien horror. At the beginning of your end step, goad up to 1 target creature you don't control and put a +1/+1 counter on Renegade Silent, and Renegade Silent phases out.
Such an annoying card. I don't know why it's 35 cents. It's obnoxious. We have our Rob Aaron Mercenaries, 3 and a white for a 3/4 human mercenary with vigilance. It has all activated abilities of all legendary creatures you control. So again, just another pseudo commander for us.
Then we
We
got
have
the
Socrates
Sly
at home.
Investigator. Oh, sorry. Did you say something?
No, you're
I
saying we
said
have
we have
Socrates at
Socrates at
home.
home.
We have Sly Investigator for 3 and a blue. Human Wizard, 2/4. For a blue and a tap, untap your next turn. Oh, sorry, until your next turn. Target creature an opponent controls can't be blocked. Go that creature.
This is a phenomenal one to copy with our own things like Phantasmal Image and stuff.
Mhm.
That's a fun card.
Oh, I love that card so much.
Then we've got Spark Double. 3 and a blue for 0/0 illusion. You may have Spark Double enter as a copy of a creature or planeswalker you control, except it enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it if it's a creature, it enters with an additional loyalty counter on it if it's a planeswalker, and it isn't legendary.
Yeah. Again, an
Yeah.
easy one. It's not super expensive at the moment, but we want as many of our commander abilities as we can. The
Mhm.
next one is if people, again, if they don't want to deal with our deals, we've got Swans of Bryn Argol to deal with it. And this is also a phenomenal thing to be copying with our image, with our, like any of these things, right? It's 2 hybrid azorius for a 4/3 bird spirit. The whole point of my deck is to prevent combat damage, so I'm trying to get through unblocked. And if you want to block, Swans of Bryn Argol is my answer. It's flying. If a source would deal damage to Swans of Bryn Argol, prevent that damage. The source's controller draws cards equal to the damage prevented this way.
That's fun.
Yeah, so again, if people don't want to deal with our stuff, we just make our army of Swans of Bryn Argols if we can, and we just swing it that way.
Fair, fair.
Yeah.
Tide Force Elemental is our next card. That's 2 and a blue. Elemental 2/1. For a blue and a tap, you may tap or untap another target creature. It also has landfall, where whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may untap Tide Force Elemental. Fun.
I always say that the C and CEDH is for consistency, and this deck is going to be consistent in what we're doing. We have this untap effect stapled onto, I would say, 50% of the deck at least.
It's pretty close to it at this point in time. Holy smokes.
It's pretty silly. We've got our Triskaidekaphile. I want to take this one. Sorry, Slothy, had to jump in. The Triskaidekaphile, 1 and a blue for a 1/3 because I just love the flavor of it being the 1/3. You have no max hand size at the beginning of your upkeep. If you have exactly 13 cards in your hand, you win the game. And it has a mana sink. I just like the 13, 13, 13.
Yeah.
Numbers are everywhere.
The numbers.
You take our last creature here, Slothy.
Yeah, the final creature we've got here is the Vizier of Tumbling Sands. 2 and a blue for a 1/3. You may tap it to untap another target permanent, and it's got cycling for 1 and a blue. And when you cycle it, you can untap target permanent.
Yeah.
Cool.
I wanted to quickly before we outro out here, I wanted to scroll down to our maybe board because this is one of the hardest decks I've had to cut down. I would say near 200 cards when I started this one. And I just wanted to rifle through some of the ones that I thought like deserved like an extra spot. So we've got our Aether Tunnel. It's just another creature can't be blocked. An Approach to the Second Sun. Obviously, if you're drawing lots, it's a cool extra win con. More unblockable. A way to stop yourself with a Tempsis from dying. If it deals damage to an opponent, you could reveal your hand. If you reveal 6 different mana costs this way, they lose the game. Another great little win con there, depending on your meta. Orification's more of a stacksy card, so is Archon of Absolution. I liked the Cut a Deal. Each opponent draws a card. You draw for each. I liked Careful Consideration. Target player draws 4 cards. There was just a lot of ones I really, really liked in this deck. Dictate of Crewfix is a normal one. You've got Party Jace. I didn't want to go the Jace's Erasure route, like Sphinx's Tutelage, Jace's Erasure. Though whenever you draw, they mill. I find that annoying. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I just kind of find it annoying.
I personally don't mind it just because the moment that comes out, you're basically the target.
That is true. You do like when other people are the target.
Yeah. So like I personally I love seeing this because instantly I just tell everyone like, hey, they're gonna draw like crazy. You know, like I politic anything that's super strong. I try not to remove myself. I try to get other people to remove for me. So
a good way to play. You save yours for when you need it.
Exactly. I don't care. Like, cause like, it's sort of like it comes down to everyone's personalities. Like if you're playing with people that you don't know, it's more difficult to politic like that. But like for us, like I know, like Daniel, I know you don't like having your stuff exiled from your graveyard.
Yeah.
Like that's very obvious. So if someone plays something like, where they can like Scavenging Ooze, right? I'm like, Daniel, like that's a problem. Like it can affect me, but I know it affects you as well.
Yeah, you
like,
point
Daniel,
the attention over there. It's I don't
Yeah.
I don't even care, but you don't want this. You want your graveyard there.
Exactly.
Hey, I do want my
Right.
cards.
Hey.
I'm easily baited. I had a Cameo of the Crescent Moon in there, just another great draw card. Manifold Key was a really, really hard one to not put in. It's 1 mana, you pay 1, untap another target artifact, which is cool for, again, helping other people out. Or yourself, your Soul Ring, blah, blah, blah. But the 3 mana target creature can't be blocked would have been such a good addition.
Yeah.
Again, just more eye draw effects, Ominous, Psychic, the Anarchy, Oathkeeper makes it so people have to pay more. Reverse Polarity would have been a fun one. Creatures can't be blocked this turn. I like that. Secret Rendezvous. Smothering Tide, it was in the initial list. I had like an extra one in the box, and I was like, you know what? I'll put it in the list. And when I was like just going through and cutting cards down, I was like, come on.
Yeah.
You'll win very hard with Smothering Ties. I get it. You'll get so many treasures. Everyone will be so proud of you. But I don't know. I just don't play with it much. And then, like I said, again, the Sphinx's Tutelage, Teferi's Tutelage, they just kind of are annoying. This Teferi was hard to not keep in the list, Temporal Pilgrim, because I love it so much. Whenever you draw a card, you put a loyalty counter on it. You 0 draw a card. the 2/2s that it makes with a -2 for whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on it. They're huge creatures. The emblem or the minus on it is brutal. A target opponent chooses a permanent they control and return it to hand. Then they shuffle each non-land permanent they control. That's annoying. Temple Bell because I'm a simple man. The second Doctor, I don't know. I didn't have a tangible copy, so that's why it made it over into this list. It did seem kind of cool that they can't attack you or permanents you control. And then Veil of Secrecy just seemed like a really, really fun one, and I had a hard time taking that out. The target creature is unblockable, can't be the target of spells or abilities this turn, like great protection, great that. I really liked it. I liked building this deck a lot. Like I don't know how you guys feel about this one, but I really liked it.
I think it's really cool. It's doing its thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Not stopping it doing its thing. And I think it's going to be quite fun to play around against and have my entire deck in my hand.
Oh, go ahead.
It's always hard. It's always hard to decide what to do when you have so many cards in your hand. So
you can really overwhelm people by forcing their deck into their hand like that.
Yeah.
Not everyone's great at like looking at a board state. A lot of people like take their time planning their turnout. So yeah, forcing them to have like 15 other options does kind of mess up game plans sometimes. And a lot of people have to discard that way, and they don't like that.
Yeah.
Then they're targeting you, which is all you want with your commander.
That is all I want. Yeah, this is normally you don't want the kickback, but that's all I want. Kick away, boys. Like I said, you could really, really budget this deck down a lot if you just removed a few of the pricier things. It's really cool that this is just such an obnoxious place to play that Induced Amnesia card.
Yeah.
You don't really see it that much, but it is a pretty rough card to deal with. Like just the exile everything, and if you can get this out like in a stronger deck. Somebody hit me once in of all places a CEDH game with it. They just like Island Mana Crypt Induced Amnesia me. So I lost my hand that I had mulligan down to and drew just trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept a playable hand, and yeah, it was rough. My favorite turn in any competitive setting at all, my favorite turn is to play Winds of Change on turn 1. It makes everyone so furious. Like I've seen many people like scoop to that. Like they mull down to their hand that they want. They've mulled down to 4 or 5 or 6, and you just Winds of Change. Blindly Winds of Change. I don't care how negatively it affects me. If I have Winds of Change in my opening hand, the table's playing Winds of Change. It's I could do a whole episode on why Winds of Change is the most fun card to play on turn 1. But yeah, no, like I said, I think this deck has just a lot of weird stuff in it, and I like it. I like the untapped shenanigans.
I love untapped shenanigans. I love doing that.
The problem is you're smarter than me, so you would have cool ways to use the untapped shenanigans, and you'd be like this, like you've said before, you like a cool Rube Goldberg machine where if you do this, then it does this, then it does that. I'm a simple man. I'm untapping Socrates. You're never removing Socrates, by the way. The hexproof, while it's untapped, you're never getting through to this thing. Don't even look at him for removal. You pack some board wipes in your lunch for this game.
Speaking of which, I'm very, very, very surprised that this deck has like, from the looks of it, like no counter spells. Like you have like one counter spell, I think.
Yeah, just Jwari.
Yeah. And then that's it. And then you have like basically like practically no board wipes. Like it's an interesting build.
I said, I'm a simple man. I'm not smart enough to put in interaction.
Well, you already said like you had a hard time cutting things down, so like
it was such a huge list. It would have made a good like Brewing It Live kind of episode, because I was sitting there for a while cutting, just like I said, I built this one in paper, so I just started cutting from it, and it was normally I go through and I've got the the little turn life counters.
Yeah.
I've got those, and it'll be like, you have 72 cards, and I'm like, okay, and then I take one out, I roll it down to 71. No, this one I was at like 200 something. I was like, oh, I gotta stop. I even thought, I was just like, I should take it into 2 decks, and I was like, no, I don't want to make 2 of these.
Yeah,
that's the deck. I don't know, seems fun. Something
just
to
fun. Like
think about. Boom, boom, boom.
I like this commander. It seems like because it's, let's face it, it's a very political card.
Hmm.
So
Mhm.
like you can make it where it's not political, where you just like make big things and just attack someone and be like, don't worry, don't worry, you're not gonna take the damage. We're both just gonna go draw cards. You know, you can do that instead. Like there's a few directions, but like I like this commander. It seems like a really fun commander. In all honesty,
I like things that make you have a conversation with the table.
yeah.
Mhm.
Hence why they call it his ability Socratic dialogue.
Well, and like I said, at a certain point, people are just going to you're not going to be able to just keep doing it. People are going to stop participating willingly, which is a
Yeah,
little bit of a bummer.
but then, but if that's the case, you switch from the dialogue to the Socratic method, where you start asking everyone questions instead, because that's what it is. You know, it's like, hey, so if I attack you, would you be offended if this happens, or what would you? Why are you targeting that? What is the purpose? You know, just switch it up. You know, from a dialogue to like the questions instead.
There's I'm just quickly trying to see. There was a new tool that they made. Have you seen the Cards Realm tool?
Yes.
I I,
No.
I
Yeah.
really like it. The power level.
Hmm.
I really am curious as to what it rates this deck as.
Oh, hey, interesting.
Yeah, where do you export the deck from in this?
Uh,
I'm not smart.
you go where it says extras.
Yeah,
Click that, and then it should be the top one there.
export deck. Where is my
That's
copy?
interesting. I wonder
This why
how
we
do they
keep you around,
determine
Slothy.
this?
Hmm?
I said this is why we keep you around, Slothy. It says that this deck power level is a 5. I could respect that. There's
Huh.
I've put a few cards into this deck or into this list, and then it's come out with like some wild things. Like I have like a full out like competitive Fibblethip deck, and it's like this deck is a power level 3. I was like,
Yeah, it's kind of weird with how it determines what it is.
I do. I'll pop it up on the screen quickly for the YouTube video. I do like that it does have some suggestions to power your deck up. So it's got
Hmm.
like an easy way to like take a look and be like, here's for me, all it wants is like upgraded mana. It wants me to put a Cyclonic Rift. Like I'll
Of course
never
it
do.
does.
Yeah, right. But like I like that it puts a lot of these like things. Again, it wants me to get the Swan Song. Will make the deck stronger. Selfless Spirit, a Fierce Guardianship, like kind of the cards would make it stronger. A Mana Crypt would make it stronger. Shocker.
Yeah. Well, once again, we're not about the power. We're about the fun.
Power of Friends. Yeah,
Right.
like I said, I've really chilled out my building style because for a long time I was just able to I build so much, right? So I was able to just make silly decks with my huge collection. And
Yeah.
so it's been nice to just I love playing like the diamonds right now, like the moss marble, like
Hmm.
all of those diamonds. I love them as rocks. I love 3 mana. I've been having a lot of fun playing lower power, more budget, like the last week's deck and stuff. I looked at Slothy's last week deck. I think it was like an $80 deck, and I was like, I've gotta have this. It was the I've just died in your arms meme. That was me looking at that deck. I was like, I gotta make this. I looked for a week for this Felix Five Boots card anywhere. I was like, please, I need it. Right. So like I've just been having a blast like playing sillier things. My Rigo deck is still, I think, my favorite deck I've ever made. I won another Rigo game and stuff. It's again, there's I either like I win with it, which is cool, or you blow your removal on my 1/1s.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Like I just I love it. It's such a stupid deck.
But that's the
But
thing. Like, the more stupid you make it, the more fun you have. The more you don't care if you win or lose.
the Mothman deck, how like have you upgraded it a lot?
I keep on upgrading and then downgrading. Like I keep on going up and down. I keep on swapping things out because like you know me. Like I'll play the same deck, sort of like softly like play test the deck. Like a dozen times, and then I make some changes. I make like a dozen changes, and then I play it again. So like, it's not the raw precon, that's for sure. I definitely have changed it, and I keep on switching between deciding like if I'm trying to do proliferate or if I'm just gonna try blinking, the Mothman instead.
Oh, proliferate would be fun with the rad counters. The like I
Yeah.
said, the rad counters, because I was gonna say you haven't really like overpowered the deck, right?
I don't overpower it. Like I try to keep it like, around the same level or a little bit lower than a precon. Like sometimes I'll try to ramp it up. Like my play group right now that I play with like quite often, um, they're starting to like play more powerful things. So
Mhm.
and infinite combos. So I'm trying to come up with like I don't want to play with infinite combos, so I'm trying to come up with strategies against them instead. So and because of that, like I might have to power up the Mothman a little bit more. But right now, it's like I would say like a 6 to like a low 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Okay.
because I want it to be more fun.
Mm-hmm.
See, yeah, like that's like I said, I like playing stuff like that. This I do like this one. Doesn't seem like it's a salty deck. Like I think people might get salty, but again, I'm
Yeah,
helping people draw and stuff. Sometimes fast games need to happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's it. That's the thoughts of the deck. Let me get our button. If you guys liked what we did, yeah. Oh, thank you for listening. By the way, I always forget to this part. If you guys like what we're doing, like, share, subscribe. It really is the best thing you can do. Above and beyond that, if you want to come over, Patreon, pay like as little as $1, hang out with us, brew decks. Great place to chat. Great patrons. I appreciate all of our patrons. They're so awesome. You can listen live, like we have Thunder in the chat right now. Hello again to Thunder. If you want all of our stuff in one spot, our website, easiest place to get it. We do have an AI armor link now. So if you want sleeves, they are the best of the best sleeves. So that'll be in the show description as well. If you want to proxy a cheaper deck like this, go to Abyss Proxy Shop, promo code IT99. Great place for again, if you don't want to pay $60 for a land, go bug Abyss for it. I'm sure he'll have 9 or 10 of them. But yeah, definitely support AI Armor. They're really, really cool. They have hooked us up with so many sleeves, and I'm not just saying it because we work with them. They are the best sleeves. Like the dragon
100%.
dragon shields are nice, but it's just they're just so nice. They're so good.
Yeah.
I can't get enough of them. Yeah,
They feel so good.
that's it. I don't think I missed anything. Did I miss anything? I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Oh yeah, check our gameplay stuff out on YouTube. We a lot of it has been face-to-face stuff because we played a bunch of games there and stuff. But we'll be doing some other cool stuff soon. That's it. And
All right, everyone. Later.
See you later.
I'll let it roll for a minute.